Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John. We're still in John chapter 20. Today we start reading at verse 24. Now we saw in yesterday's session that on the evening of that first Easter, Jesus had appeared to his disciples, showing them that he was alive. They were, of course, overjoyed. Now as we start verse 24, we come to realize that all of the disciples were not present then. We discover that Thomas was not among them. So let's read about Thomas's story. Now Thomas, also known as Didymus, one of the 12, was not with the disciples when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." We're quite familiar with this saying. Thomas has trouble believing the testimony of the other disciples. They assure him they've seen the Lord, but he doubts. I want to see myself. I want to put my finger in where the nail went through his hand, and I want to put my hand into his side where that spear was thrust in, to know that he truly is alive. Because of this, we often refer to Thomas as Doubting Thomas. And that's really a little unfair, because if you remember, on Easter morning, when the women came back from the tomb, the disciples had trouble believing them. They thought they were just fanciful tales. And so Thomas really is no different than they. And he has trouble believing the testimony of the other disciples. I want to see for myself, he says. It's a week later when he does see. Verse 26, a week later, so the following Sunday, his disciples are in the house again. Thomas is with them. The doors are locked, but Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." The same greeting he had given the disciples a week earlier when he first appeared to them, "Peace be with you." And then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand. Put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Now, as I read this, I don't see this really as a stern rebuke. I just see a gentle word, a little bit of a chiding. Thomas, believe. Stop doubting. Don't let doubt get the best of you. Believe. If you need to, you can put your finger where the nail went through my hand. If you need to, you can put your hand into my side where the spear was thrust in. But believe. Stop doubting, Thomas. Don't let doubt overwhelm you. Believe. Have faith. Trust me. And Thomas said, "My Lord and my God." Thomas believes. This is a great cry of faith. When he says, "You are my Lord, you are my God," he realizes that Jesus is fully God. He's not just another prophet, not just another teacher. He is God. He is the Lord Almighty. He is God himself, come in the flesh for us, who has died for us and has risen again. What a great confession of faith. My Lord and my God. And Jesus told him, "Because you've seen me, you believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." For all of us, the great confession of faith is when we say and believe exactly what Thomas said and believed. Jesus, you are my Lord. Jesus, you are God. I worship you and only you. I give myself to you and only you. You alone are Lord. You alone are God. In Christian history, in the early days of the church, the first few centuries really, the basic confession of the Christian movement was simply, Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. He and he alone is Lord. He and he alone is Master. He and he alone is God. This is the great confession of faith. And Thomas comes to it. And we must have that same confession of faith in our hearts as we stand by faith before the risen Lord. Oh, Jesus, you are my Lord and you are my God. So now all the disciples, all 11 of them, of course remember Judas is lost, all 11 of them have seen the Lord and confessed their faith. They will be the core group of the church that will carry the gospel to all the world. Join us tomorrow as we continue looking at the Gospel of John in our 5-minute Bible study.